Hello, everyone. Hello, we're back. We're an Arcanist. We're going to learn from the Thubergheim over here. And we get nothing of value. What's in the box? Ah, Miro, is it? Isn't it? Are you eating well? An empty stomach distracts the mind and leads to hurried judgment. I must oft remind my Arcanist to take meals. So ensconced do they become in their studies. Speaking of such, have you been practicing your tactics with Carbuncle? I believe it is time to assess the improvement of your skills. As with your previous trial, I would have you defeat foes in Lower Lanasia, 3 wild dodos and 3 tiny mandragoras to be precise. Watch carefully the behavior of your opponents, formulate an effective strategy, and utilize your arcane entity to its full potential. I expect you back in time for breakfast. Book of Me just died. Oh no. What happens when you die in Pass of the Righteous? So they're just gone? Or is it like D&D where you have to spend a diamond to revive them? Wait, are these in sure. That's Lower Lanasia. They're both in Lower Lanasia. Cool. Alright, well, let's go to Lower Lanasia then. You can revive them with scrolls, but it's a lot of money. It's worth just to reload the save. Save the scrolls for later in the game. Alright. Hey there, wild dodos. This quest upset Tiamat. He likes dodos. Uneasier difficulty. There's a death door feature where basically you gotta die twice before it's perma. When I say perma, I mean use a scroll. Gotcha. Okay, so there's supposed to be mandragoras around here too somewhere. I don't see. Oh, they're there. Okay, dead. Alright, back to the Arcanist Guild we go. That's why animal companions are so good. If they die, a rat brings them back. Yeah. I once played a D&D campaign with Oddly that where I was a warrior, but my character believed himself to be a ranger because he had an animal companion that was a giant frog. But he was not a ranger. He could use no ranger abilities, nothing like that. He just believed himself to be. And also, he believed the frog was telling him what to do. Welcome back, Mio. It appears your coordination with Carbuncle is progressing at a satisfactory pace. Shall we test your growing acumen with a more practical examination? Our work at Melvin's Gate requires us to inspect and record the contents of incoming cargo. To simulate such a task, I have had several crates transported to the cliffs south of Zephyr Gate. I want you to examine those crates and then return the inspected cargo here to me. You would be surprised at the depths at which some merchants will sink to deter our customers' agents from performing thorough investigations. False bottoms, rotting foodstuffs, flesh-eating vilekin. I suggest you be prepared for any eventuality. So, this quest we're about to do is the same one that we ran into with Sataru later on. And it's kind of funny that they actually had her doing the actual quest. Anyway, he called the frog Lord Jubbington, in that the frog was his master. And it was pretty funny, because we had an actual ranger on their team, and they'd, like, go to do, like, survivalist stuff, like checking tracks and whatnot. And my character would, like, come up beside him and be like, ah, yes, I was just about to say the same thing, even though he has no knowledge of terrain. Carbuncle, eat them. I'm not a threat! Pray ignore my presence for the present and allow me a moment to cogitate. The reaction to my sudden appearance was within expected parameters, but I must admit I did not expect so proficient a performance against the enemies set against you. Yet, effective though your tactics were, I spied much room for improvement. As I watched you battle, the wheels of my mind whirled into motion, as they wont do, inventing other possible strategies you might have employed. Let's see. Taking into account the current level ability, factoring in the etheric constant, multiplying the number of opponents, then applying your tactics to other potential combat scenarios. Oh dear, my calculations indicate failure upon encountering threat level 9,785. Well, we'll have to see what we can do about that. Though the opportune window to do so has passed, I would have nevertheless introduced myself. I am Clea, a Melvin Gates assessor. Acting Guildmaster Thurbergheim elected me to oversee your training and provide any necessary guidance and instruction in the field of Arcanist. Speaking of dead animal companion, your griffin died. Oh no. From what I've observed thus far, you have an admirable grasp of the fundamentals. I do, however, wish to confirm one small detail. Regarding your choice of arcane geometries, which factor most influences your actions during battle? Desire to outwit an enemy. Potential for amusement. I simply do what feels right. Aha! Just as I predicted! And now I had the final element needed to perform another calculation. The probability of you becoming an Arcanist of note is 90%! Give or take 0.5%. Yes, the certainty is quite high after all. I only know one other practitioner who responded to my question in the same manner. It was the man who bestowed upon me this grimoire, the Guildmaster himself. While our inscrutable leader is, as I'm sure you've heard, an indefinite leave of absence, he did leave us with his most notorious saying to date. Strategy is a tool used to manipulate one's situation into the desired reality. No matter how gifted you and I might be, however, the instantaneous manipulation of reality might cause us to suddenly become mighty Arcanists is beyond our present abilities. Discipline and experience is the finest strategy in this case. I suggest you continue to focus on refining your aptitude with Carbuncle. Mastery with an arcane entity will greatly improve your success as a wielder of Arcanum. Here ends your lesson for the day. Pray return directly to the guild. I believe Mr. Thurbergheim is awaiting some inspected cargo. And what of myself? I'm off to the fields, of course. The tactics I reasoned out earlier must be attempted in real-life scenarios. Theory is all well and good, but there is no substitute for actual combat. We will meet again soon. A grimoire sounds like a melee weapon to Jeremy. If you actually go into melee with your casters, you can hit the enemy with your book. It is something that can be done. Alas, we are not quite level 30 with this character, so we cannot unlock the next job, which is a little sad, but that's fine. As I do not do any daily roulettes with this one, we can make do as a conjurer, or as a Arcanist for now. Miro, you have returned with the cargo. A wooden cargo crate used by Melvin's Gate to train new assessors. Yes, everything seems to be in order. Relatively clear of blood and other gore. That can be something of a problem in our profession, you understand. I also had word from Kalia regarding your performance. She seemed eager to continue your training. An odd lass, I'll admit, but the guild can boast no finer mind for tactics. You would do well to heed the instructions she offers, particularly that which touches on the diligent approach to our art. Did you perhaps notice the battered tone Kalia carries? That initiate's grimoire has served her from the day she entered the guild. She has her reasons, but it is admittedly strange to see it kept all the way to her present position as a foreseer. I fear such an intense focus on Arcanum has led her to overlook other important aspects of life. As our master strategist to guide your Arcanist training, I hope that you might return the favor and help to broaden her own perspective somewhat. But enough of such matters for the moment. You have done well this day, Miro. Continue your practice with Carbuncle as Clea has bid. I will be here when the time has come for your next lesson. None of these are good. We'll just take this. Alright, same thing here. Level 10 stuff. Yes, Mira, the time has come for your next lesson is upon us. You are keeping well, I trust. Taking the occasional brisk walk. One cannot form sound thoughts if one fails to maintain a sound body. Now, assuming you have been following Kalea's instructions, you should be ready to face the more dangerous threats found in the Western Lanasia. I speak of roselings and wild jackals, and yes, I would have you vanquish 3 of each. 'Tis the perfect sample size. The first acts as a preliminary test case, the second tests your hypotheses, the third to perfect the tactics you devised. Speaking of which, I trust your strategy will consist of more than simply flinging rune over and over again. You are not the novice you once were, and your skills in the field ought to reflect that. If you find yourself wanting for other approaches, considering assault with a rune in tandem with attacks from your carbuncle. When timed appropriately, you can deal a crippling blow to your opponent. Yeah, they didn't really change the combat here, but carbuncle doesn't fight anymore. Like, carbuncle actually used to, like, go up and actually battle enemies. That's not a thing anymore. That doesn't happen. Carbuncle just toddles around the field as a cheerleader, which I am okay with. Speaking of which, oh, there you go. I got Wind Up, Odin, Carbuncle, and Bob Dole to help me. Okay, here goes. Why is this lightning elemental fighting me? Hey, Jeremy. Done. Alright, let's go back to the guild. He sneezes in my presence all the time. I don't know about all the time, but sometimes. Better than shitting my pants in your presence. You show up and of course your internet crashes. How's the weather there today? It looks like it's about to storm here. Welcome back, Meryl. How did it feel to conquer such ferocious foes? Let us ride that wave of triumph onto an even more demanding and dangerous challenge. Your next training exercise will have you accompany Forseer Kalea on one of her inspections. This experience will afford you the opportunity to witness firsthand the practical application of Arcanima. Pray do not tarry, Meryl. Kalea awaits you on the floor below with further details. Right, these quests are a little longer than the Conjurer quests. It's cloudy and very humid. It feels like 40. You like the heat humidity? It feels good. It doesn't feel that hot here today, actually. Alright, Clea, let's do this. A timely appearance, as I expected. Shall we proceed directly to the job at hand? I have been tasked with examining the wares of a goblin peddler caravan run by the Boylestocks family. Our agents suspect that the beastmen merchants of dealing in forbidden goods. As such, I've calculated that announcing an inspection has a 60% chance of inviting physical violence. I have prepared a strategy to respond to this possible shift into hostilities, but there's an important precondition that you should be made aware of before we discuss the finer points of my plan. Though I am considered gifted in the formation of tactics, I lack the reflexes and coordination necessary to employ many of those self-same strategies on the field of battle. Pray, keep this factor in mind and adjust your perceptions accordingly. Now, should the goblins offer battle, you would execute combat pattern 1345, otherwise known as Stratagem Focus Fire. You and your carbuncle will concentrate your attacks on a single foe, and one by one the enemy will wither under the combined onslaught. Probability of victory, 95%. Reports place the peddlers in the vicinity of the cookpot, in Middle Lanasia. I will depart immediately to assess the situation. Seek me out once you arrive. Okay, I like how her description there is, hey, just note that I'm weak as shit. I can think of things to do, I just can't do them because I'm weak as shit. which is why they have me here. Also, I love that they fucking had the Arcanists. They're basically customs officers. Okay, clear. I'm gonna be a real fan. I mean, I'm glad she told me up front that she's weak. I am Forseer Kalia of Melvin's Gate. You are to cease all transactions and surrender your goods for inspection. Nasty, sneaky peekers. Gobby spit Uplander nosy eyes on stabby iron. Okay. A particularly aggressive response. Very well, Meryl. Remember what we discussed. She just fucking leaves. Okay, she's there. I was worried for a moment she was actually just gonna fuck off. Strike now with all your might! Where are the other goblins? Oh, they're there. See, her Topaz Carbuncle does fight things. Mine doesn't. My Carbuncle's just like, nah, I'm not doing that. My Ruby Carbuncle, however, will run in and hit them. And almost kill it, apparently. Fuck you, Goblin Peddlers. Pick one. Sex Inspector or Let's Go, my harem farm. Let's do the Let's Go. Nicely done. Adaptation, improvisation. I might have been observing our beloved Guildmaster himself in action. This was the perfect example of how strategy for a given task should be tailored to the abilities of the assessor. In other words, before you begin formulating your tactics, it's necessary to fully understand your own strengths and weaknesses. On that note, there is another question I would ask you. When it comes to improving the probable success of strategy, do you consider it more effective to concentrate on playing to your strengths or showing up your weaknesses? Oh, again you respond as the Guildmaster once did. I must revise the probability of potential to attain greatness to 97%. You are one to keep an eye on, that much is certain. But to return to the subject of battle plans, your calculations must include an accurate assessment of your available techniques and their relative effectiveness. This requires you to be critically aware of your own limits, the limits of your allies, and the characteristics of your enemies. I believe that covers everything for today. Please return to the guild and make your report to Mr. Stubergen. Until then, we next meet. I shall abide here until the Yellow Jackets arrive to take the peddlers into custody. My strategies will keep me company. Yeah, anyway, so if you're playing an Arcanist, you're basically a member of the Border Patrol because... yeah, your job is a customs officer. You inspect goods. Would you like if they added goblins as a player race? It could be interesting, though I think people would not enjoy them overall because I don't see them going out and making a bunch of gear for goblins, so they'd have to be okay with goblins looking like they do. Which, I don't dislike the goblin appearance, but... I have no idea what a goblin looks like underneath its mask. Back from the field, Miro. Clea contacted me with a summary of the events. It seems like you were treated to a lecture on knowing thyself. That particular lesson is ordinarily taught only to intermediate practitioners. Without a sufficient store of combat experience from which to draw, it is difficult to fully appreciate the profundity of such seemingly simple truth. Nevertheless, I feel confident you will soon be ready for a more ambitious assignment. Keep your studies and maintain the razor's edge of your mind. It's not a mask, it just looked like that. No, it is actually a mask. In Idyllshire, you find out that one of the goblins wants to pass on his mask to his daughter, and his daughter's like, that thing's disgusting, I don't want it. Alright, Topaz Teachings. This is an ability I have not had. Plus, we get the ability to summon Topaz Carbuncle, so fuck yeah. You seem tired, Miro. Are you sleeping properly? One's reasoning can suffer without sufficient rest and recuperation. Should you deem yourself fit for duty, pray make your way down to the practice floor. Forseer Kalia has requested your company on another official inspection. There is, however, a requirement for your participation. The Forseer will explain the situation. Alright, so we have 3 quests left to do. This one, and then the level 20, and then the 25 quest. Alright, Clear, I see you're back in this spot. I actually have the Surge 1 and 2 already. I was beginning to think I'd miscalculated. Mira, thank you for coming. I will soon be boarding a trading vessel suspected of smuggling. All merchant ships that make use of Linsel and Lins's ports are subject to inspection by Melvin's Gate assessors. It's a routine I perform daily. In the case of smugglers, however, there's a 75% probability of encountering resistance. Thus, I would appreciate your company during this assignment. It is now that we must discuss the requirement of which you were informed. Though I have full confidence in your martial expertise, it is imperative that you first acquire the ability to summon Topaz Carbuncle. Such knowledge will be released to you contingent of your acceptance of this duty. Alright. Very good! The arcane entity, given form by the Topaz geometry, will further expand your offensive capabilities. With such an ally at your command, even the harshest of enemies will falter before you. Indeed, we could not conduct such dangerous spot inspections without its support. Please, return to Mrs. Stibrium and inform her of your participation. I will join you once I have completed some final adjustments in my tactical formula. Yeah, I actually have the Search 1 and 2. They were considered in place of Lies of P, but my P bought me Lies of P. Which, once I get back from down south, I think I'm going to be recovered enough to restart Miro Dies to this. However, it is Dawn Trail release, so that might delay it a little bit. You have agreed to accompany the Forseer. Then I shall gladly instruct you in the use of Topaz Carbuncle. Hey, do not hesitate to employ this entity in combat, should the inspection turn south. Is that the whole level 15 quest? Or is this just like a mini quest in the middle? Summon Topaz. Well, we're gonna move this up here, and what did it teach me? Enhance Ether Charge. Grants Ruby Arcanum, Topaz Arcanum, and Emerald Arcanum upon executing Ether Charge. What the fuck is the Arcanum? Okay. Oh, okay, that was just like a mini quest. Alright, so there are actually more. The mercenaries Gisfrin and Ershata are here to assist with the inspection. Both are old hands when it comes to escorting Clea during the more dangerous duties. Well met, Miro, my spells are at your disposal. This won't be the first time expecting trouble, but as long as we follow the Forseer's tactics and keep a clear head, we'll come through just fine. The Morning Star is preparing to dock in Aleport. We will meet our first challenge, however, before we even board the vessel. It is almost a certainty that the merchant ship has hired a thug or two to accost us at the pier. I calculate the probability at 98%. The crew wish to avoid attacking us on deck, you see. That would all but trumpet their criminal intentions to the world at large. Now, once we do manage to clear the rails, we will face a deck crowded with armed sailors. For a small party such size, the most effective strategy will be to incapacitate individual foes as swiftly as possible. Each opponent we down is one less weapon raised against us. It is imperative that we do not allow ourselves to become tangled in multiple drawn-out skirmishes, lest we be overwhelmed. I call this stratagem Hammerfall. Strategy is a tool used to manipulate one situation into the desired reality. Keep those words in mind, Miro. It is time we depart. Let us regroup before the main gates of Aleport. Jeremy, when we were in border services, do you remember when they taught us to summon Ruby Carbuncle before we go investigate shipments? You know, pick them up for PC so you can play them while you wait for the Dawn Trail queues to calm down. Now, we're assuming the Dawn Trail queues are going to be bad. Now, they have a lot more servers now than they did during Endwalker, so it's possible that, unless the player base is, like, ballooned massively, I don't know, we don't know those numbers, that it might just be a slight wait time. You remember Wayne's fucking off like the tires did? Let us be about our task, Miro. Pray inform the steersman at the pier that we are ready to conduct our inspection. Should violence be offered, you are to execute stratagem hammerfall. Do not forget, your tactics are both your shield and your weapon. Alright, well I don't want to walk all the way over there, so I'm gonna fly. You're the folks from Melvin's Gate? Hells, I knew there would be trouble. Hey, dude. He dead. Well then, I'm certainly glad you can handle yourself. You'll find the landing boat just down here at the end of this ramp. I'll know part of what comes next, though. What? Was he not part of their crew? We just letting him get? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's good to have another game lined up, absolutely, because it's safe to assume queues are going to be bad, because that's the history of FF14 in particular, but MMOs in general. Deftly handled, Miro. Once again, I am reminded of our guildmaster. Thanks to your efficient response, we will be able to commence this inspection earlier than I had calculated. We will board the merchant vessel out in the bay. Because with any luck, we will get into build play, and it won't be bad. Air Shoda, if you would take the rudder, the Morning Star awaits. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I have Far Cry 6 to play while we sit in queue. That said, I do gotta decide what we're gonna be doing on Wednesday, and also for future streams up ahead, because I don't know if I should just have like a mini temporary game we play that day, or if perhaps I should just shift to FF15 and then when we're done that, go back and try FF14 again. Or if the queues aren't bad, I could just wake up a little earlier and log in. Since their welcoming party at the pier failed to detect us, I expect with a probability of 85% that our arrival will incite further belligerence. Our objective, however, is not to trade blows, but to gain access to the hold. It may behoove us to employ stratagem hardhead. The aim of our opponents is to buy time so that suspect goods may be tossed into the ocean. I do not intend to give them that time. We will bull our way towards the cargo hold as quickly as we can. It is a tactic fraught with risk, but one your presence makes possible. Shall we begin? That's another possibility, yeah. Just make those days backlog gigs. That would have helped me get through Far Cry 6 as well. So that's a good suggestion. Not that I'm having trouble getting through Far Cry 6. It's just, I feel like I could just go and kill Castillo now, and that would end the game. And I kind of want to see everything, so, or at least I want to go to every area. Like, I just finished the Montero storyline, and now I'm in Valencia, or whatever that area is called. Yeah. I am Forcier Kalia. By the authority of Melvin's Gate, I request that you surrender your goods for assessment. Well now, your timing couldn't be worse, lass. The old door's all rusted up, you see? Bloody thing won't open. You'll have to come back another day after we fix the engines. I will see that cargo now. Any vessel entering a port of Limsa Laminsa is bound by the law to submit to a routine inspection. Gotcha. The law, is it? Lads, I reckon it's time our guests had themselves a little accident. Hit him over the side. I like how Miro is a clothy and it's like, I'm just gonna walk right up to the front. Fuck all these guys. I didn't want to cast that spell anyway, it's fine. Oh, look, there's more of them. Oh, look, this guy's trying to come to fight with us now. Navigator betrays. This guy's getting destroyed. He stands no chance against Carbuncle. Look, there's a Topaz Carbuncle there too. This man is fighting with the Topaz Carbuncle. He thinks he stands a chance. That's cute. Damn it, they killed it before I could cast. A masterful display, Miro. Now we can gain access to their cargo. Ooh. What have we here, then? It's one of the bitch Admiral lapdogs scampering about me ship. You're just like your mistress, always sticking your nose in where it ain't invited. No, it can't be. Recognize me, pretty face, did you? But you were caught, exiled. Corsair, are you hurt? Can you stand? Stay back. You stay away from me. Corsair, please calm down. What are your orders? I've had enough of your whimpering, and I've certainly had enough of these bloody books. It's clear you ain't learned anything from them. Oh, okay. Well. Reckon it's time you got a different kind of lesson. Clear! Nafika will preserve us. She's fainted. We must withdraw. Miro, quickly! Back to the boat. We'll carry the force here. That's right. You slink on back to your mistress, your worthless curs. It appears she's a bit terrified. That's less than ideal. Oh, we just gotta leave them here and go back to Thurb again? Okay. Off we go then. Jeremy, do you strip your character down to his small clothes and dance in Lips Lament's main square for coin? If so, I applaud you. That's amazing. I know 10 gauge does. It's good to see you well, Miro. Gist's friend sent word ahead of your travails. An unfortunate turn of events, but considering the infamous Blackheart you faced, you might have fared much worse. Have you heard of the pirate Dos Maga? He was exiled from Linsla Lominsa some years ago, but appears he has chosen to defy the Admiral's orders. And once more, he dares lay a hand on Forseer Clea. The poor lass must have been terrified. If I had known Dosmaga was aboard that ship, I never would have assigned her that duty. The assessor may require some time to recover. For Clea, that man is a nightmare made flesh. Though her physical wounds will soon mend, there's little we can do to salve the hurt to her mind. You're concerned? Angry, mayhap? Harness that energy, channel it into your training. I predict we shall have need of your skills before long. None of these are upgrades. Engage is trying to keep Jeremy alive against this alchemist. His book is not protecting him this day. Alright, give me a sec, guys. We'll be right back on recording as we have more Final Fantasy XIV for you here in just a moment.